to continue along the same line of thought. So I think one of the difficulties we have, and you mentioned, well, it's science fiction. So science fiction has good and bad, right? Most people look at this and that would never happen. This is science fiction, and people tend to discount, whereas a lot of people use science fiction in a very positive way to raise awareness of issues. So I remember there were science fiction books about an attack on the Capitol in the United States, and people just said, this is a joke that would never happen. And then January 6th happened, right? And what is your view on the use of science fiction to predict futures or to help raise awareness, preparedness? It's a yay or nay, or is this something you recommend?
So there are a lot of things to be said. First of all, what science fiction definitely helps you is to expand your thinking. And there's science fiction that actually is grounded in realities and then takes a spin from there. And then there's science fiction that considers a completely different world and moves over to the fantasy genre. You obviously want to be in an area where you can say, okay, this is something that potentially could happen, and then you need to take it into consideration. As a matter of fact, a lot of companies look at science fiction to get new ideas. And also the government and the military is looking at science fiction to develop an understanding about the possibilities and what could happen. There's even, interestingly, and I'm now digressing a little bit, but there is a school of thought out there that says science fiction can have a surprisingly deterministic effect on the future by presenting a solution that then becomes like a common good, like the tricorder in Enterprise. Everybody said, that's this device. That would be great. So it, perhaps we would have a different device and not a handheld smartphone and computer if Kirk wouldn't have shown us that this is a future. There are other ideas too. A lot of the geoengineering obviously comes from that area. But again, this is, I think, more a little bit of a philosophical but interesting aspect. Science fiction definitely can help to prepare your thinking for new possibilities. But if you use it, you should at least try to pad it with some real world examples that you can provide that give me as a decision maker the feeling, okay, maybe we are already moving a little bit in this direction. Just saying, hey, in 40 years this could happen, is the horizon is also too long for most investment cycles. So you want to be careful going too much in the science fiction realm. It is certainly a good way to get new ideas.